There was the girl at the bookstore, reading a novel by the window. I spent 3 weeks practicing hello. Then she smiled and said, I'm seeing somebody. There was the woman on the train, the one with the yellow headphones. We talked about music for 20 minutes. I thought maybe the universe thought otherwise. The station arrived, she waved goodbye, and that was that. The funny thing about disappointment is that it never arrives alone. It always brings a lesson, even if you didn't ask for one. I've had 100 no's, 100 doors closing in my face, 100 sunsets walking home alone, trying to smile with a little grace. 100 no's, but my heart keeps keeping score, because every time love said not this one, I found a reason to try once more. There was a barista near the river, a painter in a coastal town, a photographer who loved thunderstorms, a teacher who loved old jazz records, a lawyer who collected postcards, a traveler who never stayed anywhere long. One by one, they became stories, not failures, stories. I've had 100 no's, 100 trains leaving the station, 100 rainy afternoons, 100 tiny devastations. 100 no's, but I never learned to quit, because somewhere beyond rejection, there had to be something worth it. At first, I thought the problem was me, then I thought the problem was timing, then I blamed geography, then luck, then fate, then the moon. Eventually I realized love isn't an exam, nobody's grading you. Sometimes people simply aren't your person, that's all. The river keeps moving, the city keeps singing, the stars keep shining, life keeps swinging. By rejection number 73, I got pretty good at laughing. By rejection 82, I stopped taking everything personally. By 91, I started enjoying the conversations. By 99, I realized something strange. The loneliness had changed shape. It wasn't fear anymore, it was space. Space for somebody real. Maybe every closed door was guiding me somewhere else. Maybe every goodbye was protecting a future. Hello. I've had 100 no's, 100 reasons to stay home, 100 nights staring at the ceiling, wondering if I'd always be alone. 100 no's, yet somehow hope survived, because a heart is a stubborn traveler, and mine refused to stop trying. Then one Tuesday afternoon, nothing extraordinary happened. No fireworks, no dramatic music, no cosmic signs, just a woman sitting beside me in a cafe, reading a book. She looked up, she smiled, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I had to impress anybody. I just felt comfortable. The coffee was warm, the rain was soft, the city carried on, the world stayed ordinary, which made it perfect. I've had 100 no's, goes toward the sea. The trains still leave the station. The city still closed after midnight. And somewhere out there, someone is getting their first heartbreak. Someone is hearing their 50th note. Someone is wondering if they should give up. If I could tell them one thing, it would be this: keep showing up. The story isn't over just because the page hurts. Sometimes the 100th note is standing right next to the first yes. Yes. She packed her suitcase by the doorway, quiet as a song before the first note. The apartment seemed to hold its breath, watching every movement she made. A yellow scarf lay across the chair, a paper bag rested on the table. Tiny pieces of an ordinary life that suddenly felt impossible to understand. Outside, a delivery truck rolled by. Inside, time slowed down, and she walked away that day, like a train disappearing through the rain. I watched her fade into the distance, and nothing looked the same. Oh, she walked away that day, taking part of the sunlight with her. The room remained exactly where it was, but somehow the world grew smaller. I stood beside the kitchen window, holding a cup of coffee gone cold. The city continued its daily routine. People crossed streets, dogs chased pigeons, someone laughed somewhere below. The world carried on beautifully, which felt almost insulting. How could everything continue when mine had stopped? And she walked away that day, leaving echoes in every room, every photograph, every record, every afternoon. Oh, she walked away that day, like a melody unfinished in the air. The silence she left behind seemed louder than anything we'd shared. The afternoon stretched endlessly. I wandered through the apartment like a tourist in a forgotten museum. Her favorite mug sat beside the sink. A note remained on the refrigerator. A coat still hung near the door. Small details, ordinary details, the kind that suddenly become priceless. And I remembered summer by the sea, your laughter carried by the wind, the old cafe near the station, the road trips, the midnight conversations. Funny how memories arrive, not in order, but all at once, like birds startled into flight. As evening approached, the rain finally began. Street lights reflected on wet pavement. The city turned gold and silver. I put on an old record, the one we used to play on Sundays. The needle found the groove, the music filled the room for a moment. I almost forgot she was gone, and she walked away that day, measured by how deeply it changes us. The sea doesn't apologize when the tide pulls away. The moon doesn't mourn when the night becomes morning. Everything leaves eventually. Everything teaches something. The rain grows softer, the record keeps turning, the city keeps breathing, and so do I. Yeah, she walked away that day, and part of me walked with her down unfamiliar streets into distant seasons. She didn't take the ocean, she didn't take tomorrow, and she didn't take the part of me still learning how to begin again. The record reaches its final groove. The rain stops sometime after midnight. A train crosses the bridge beyond the river. The apartment grows quiet. And somewhere in another part of the city, perhaps she's looking out a different window, listening to a different song, remembering just as I am. And somehow that feels enough. To the sound of silence, the kind that settles deep inside a room. Your favorite cup was still on the shelf, waiting for a hand that wouldn't return. The morning light fell across the table, touching photographs we never put away. Outside, the city carried on like always, but inside, everything had changed. I stood by the window for a long time, watching people hurry somewhere. I wondered how they could move so easily, because when someone means the world to you, the world should stop for a moment. At least that's what it feels like. But the world kept turning the day you were gone. The river kept flowing, the radio played on, and I kept reaching for a voice that wasn't there anymore, trying to understand how a heart survives when it loses what it was living for. The bookstore on the corner opened at 9. The baker placed fresh bread in the window. A little dog waited beside a cafe door. Life continued writing new pages. Meanwhile, I kept rereading the old ones. The sound of your laughter in the kitchen, the way you look at the ocean, the way you'd say my name like it belonged somewhere safe. Those memories arrived all at once, like rain after weeks of clear skies. And the world kept turning the day you were gone. The stars still appeared when evening came on, but every street felt unfamiliar, every song felt incomplete, like half the melody had vanished and left only the beat. by the river. The city lights floated on the water. A train crossed the bridge in the distance, its windows glowing briefly before disappearing. I thought about all the ordinary moments I never realized were extraordinary. Coffee shared on quiet mornings, long drives without a destination. The comfortable silence between two people who understand each other. Those were the treasures, not the grand moments, the small ones, always the small ones. People say time heals everything, maybe, but I think time does something different. It teaches us how to carry love without needing to hold it. It teaches us how to keep walking while still looking back. It teaches us that goodbye is not the end of affection, only the end of presence. The moon rose over the river, the wind moved through the trees, and for the first time all day I felt you there. Not beside me, not physically, but somewhere within the music of memory. And the world kept turning the day you were gone. The seasons kept changing, the years moved on, but every sunset still reminds me of the way you'd stop and stare. Every ocean still remembers the dreams we used to share. And the world kept turning the day you were gone, but so did the love you left behind. It lives in photographs and old songs, in quiet mornings, in certain kinds of rain. And every time I think of you, the world feels whole again. For a little while, the coffee grows cold, the train disappears into the night. The river keeps moving toward the sea, and somewhere beyond sight, beyond time, beyond goodbye, I hope you're watching the same moon, knowing you're still loved. Ooh. I met you on a summer evening under a sky that belonged to us both. We talked until the cafe closed, like we'd known each other all along. You laughed at my broken accent, I smiled at the way you said my name. Different countries, different languages, but somehow love sounded exactly the same. Ooh, back then, the distance felt small, the future felt close. Ooh, we never thought a border could be stronger than a promise. Oh, we never thought a stamp could change a dream. But there's a border between our hearts, a line neither one of us can see. They built it on paper, they built it with rules, but it still stands between you and me. There's a border between our hearts, and every mile feels twice as far. I can see your face on my screen, but I can't hold who you are. Yeah. Another video call at midnight, another sunrise without your touch. I memorize every little detail, because memory has become my home. The world keeps moving around us, airplanes rise into the sky. People cross oceans every day, yet somehow you and I remain on opposite sides. I know your city by heart now, the streets, the cafe, the life would be if we lived beneath the same sky every day. No countdowns, no visa forms, no departure gates, just ordinary morning. Coffee together, walking home, holding your hand without checking the calendar first. The simplest dreams become the biggest ones when they're taken away. Maybe one day the borders will open. Maybe one day the waiting will end. Maybe one day I won't have to say goodnight and mean goodbye. Maybe one day I'll wake up beside you, and every lonely mile will finally make sense. The moon crosses every border, the ocean ignores every line. The wind never asks for permission. Love is more like them than it is like war. There's a border between our hearts, but it cannot change what we know. No government, no distance, no passport can tell my heart where not to go. There's a border between our hearts, yet somehow you're still right here. In every dream, in every song, in every prayer. There's a border between our hearts. Someday these lines will fade, and when I finally run into your arms, every goodbye will become worth the wait. The stars belong to every country. The moon belongs to every sea. And one day, no border will stand between you and me. Just you and me. Another evening by my window, watching city lights begin to glow. Your morning's just beginning somewhere, a world away but still so close. I see your picture on my phone screen, the same smile that carries me through. Sometimes I close my eyes and imagine you're sitting right here like you used to do. The hardest part is missing you, it's not being able to hold you. Every mile between us is longer at night, but your voice still finds me like moonlight finds the sea. There are miles between our hearts, but not enough to keep us apart. No ocean is wide enough, no sky is high enough to stop me loving you. There are miles between our hearts, but every beat still feels the same. No matter where we are tonight, you're still the first thing I think about, and the last thing I say your name. I know the streets you're walking on, I know the cafe where you sit, I know the way you tuck your hair back when you're lost inside your thoughts a bit. Sometimes I wish I could surprise you, show up standing at your door, just to see your eyes light up the way they always did before. Until then, I keep collecting memories for the day we're together again. People see the distance, I see the future. People count the miles, I count the days. There are miles between our hearts, but our dreams still share the same sky. Every sunset that you see somehow reaches me, no matter where I am. There are miles between our hearts, yet your love still feels so near. When I close my eyes at night, I can almost feel you here. One more call, one more sunrise, one day closer to you. voice gets heavy, the silence fills the room. I miss the little things the most. Walking side by side, sharing coffee, falling asleep beside you. The ordinary things, the beautiful things, the things distance can't replace. And when the world feels too big and the road feels too long, I remember why I'm holding on. Because love isn't measured by how close we stand. It's measured by how far we're willing to travel for one another. And I'd cross every ocean, every country, every year to get back to you. Just hold on. Just one more season. Just one more flight. Just one more goodbye before the final hello. There are miles between our hearts, but not a single mile inside my soul. Because every part of me still belongs with you. There are miles between our hearts, yet somehow love keeps finding a way. Through the phone calls, through the letters, through the nights we miss each other, through everything. Miles between our hearts, but someday there won't be any more. And when I finally hold you again, I'll know every lonely mile was worth it. The moon shines on both of us. The stars know where you are. Until the distance disappears, keep a place for me inside your heart. Because no matter how far apart we are, I'm already there. Yeah. It was a rainy Friday evening, the city glowing beneath wet streetlights. We found a small pizza place near the river, a place with old records on the wall. A jazz song drifted from the speakers, the smell of fresh dough filled the room. She smiled when the pizza arrived, like she'd just been handed the answer to a difficult question. And honestly, maybe she had. Some people chase diamonds, some people chase stars. She chases extra cheese, and somehow that's much more charming. My love, she loves pizza the way some people love the sea, with complete devotion, without apology. My love, she loves pizza. Every slice makes her eyes shine bright, and watching her enjoy something so simple feels like happiness itself tonight. She folds every slice exactly the same way. Nobody taught her, she just does. She closes her eyes after the first bite, as if she's listening to music. Sometimes she'll explain why this crust is perfect, why that sauce is special, why pineapple deserves a second chance. I don't always agree, but I always listen. Because when she talks about pizza, she's really talking about joy. My love, she loves pizza, and somehow that makes me love her more. Not because of the pizza itself, but because of how she sees the world. My love. spices from a food truck. The sunset painted the water gold. The wind tangled her hair, the waves rolled toward shore. And there she stood, holding pizza in one hand, pointing at the horizon with the other, perfectly happy, perfectly herself. The sea was beautiful, but I couldn't stop looking at her. I've learned that love isn't always the dramatic moments. It's not fireworks, it's not grand speeches. Sometimes it's knowing someone's favorite topping. Sometimes it's sharing the last light. Sometimes it's laughing because there's sauce on their nose. The small things become the big things. The city keeps moving, the trains keep running, the seasons keep changing, but some things stay the same. She still smiles at pizza, and I still smile at her. My love, she loves pizza, and after all these years, she still lights up the same excitement, the same joy, the same beautiful heart. My love, she loves pizza, and every slice tells me something true, that happiness doesn't need to be complicated, that wonder can survive adulthood, that love can live inside ordinary evenings. My love, oh, she loves pizza, and every time she takes a bite, I remember exactly why I fell in love. The restaurant closes. The last train crosses the river. The city settles into the night. There's one slice left in the box. She looks at me. I look at her, and without saying a word, I let her have it. Because some things are worth sacrificing for, especially love, especially pizza. City fades into the darkness. The last train disappears from sight. I leave the television talking softly, just to keep the silence company tonight. Your photograph rests on the nightstand, beside a half-finished cup of tea. I tell myself I've moved on, but every evening proves how hard that can be. Because when the daylight leaves, you come back to me. Some people count sheep, some people count stars. I count the moments until I can see you again. 'Cause you're only in my dreams, that's the only place we meet. Where your hand still finds my hand, and your heart still beats with mine. You're only in my dreams, waiting on the other side of sleep. Every night I lose reality, just to have you back with me. Yeah, yeah. In my dreams, we're walking by the ocean, the same shoreline where we used to be. The wind still dances through your hair, and you're still smiling back at me. We talk about ordinary things, the weather, the music, the future, the kind of conversations I miss the most. Not the grand moments, just being near you. The dream always feels so real until morning arrives. You're only in my dreams, where distance doesn't exist, where time forgets its rules, and goodbye never happened. You're only in my dreams, where every broken piece feels whole. mercy, a small gift from the night, a place where unfinished stories can still find another chapter. A place where I can tell you everything I never got to say. A place where love doesn't have to end. The stars fade, the sky grows lighter, the dream begins to disappear, and I hold on as long as I can. You're only in my dreams, but somehow that's enough tonight, because even an illusion of your love still feels brighter than the dark. You're only in my dreams, yet your memory remains alive. Every night my heart finds a doorway back to you, back to you. You're only in my dreams, where I can still hear your laughter, where I can still hold you close, where I can still believe that for one more moment nothing changed. The morning always takes you away, but the night always brings you back. So until the stars stop shining, I'll keep meeting you there, only in my dreams. Only in my dreams. Only in my dreams. Only in my dreams. She collects old train tickets from places she's never been. She keeps them inside a wooden box beside her favorite novels. She knows the names of constellations most people stopped noticing years ago. Sometimes she'll wake me up at midnight just to show me a meteor shower, and somehow I never mind. The world calls her unusual, I call her wonderful. She's got the strangest hobbies, and that's what makes her beautiful. She finds treasure in forgotten things and magic in the ordinary world. She's got the strangest hobbies, like collecting pieces of the moon, and every little thing she loves makes me fall for her a little more. She photographs vending machines in small towns during road trips. She says each one looks lonely in a different way. She spends entire afternoons looking for secondhand records, not because they're valuable, because she likes imagining who listened to them before. The funny thing is, she talks about these things like they're completely normal, and maybe they are. Maybe she's the normal one, maybe everyone else is rushing too much. She's got the strangest hobbies, turning rainy days into adventures. She'll spend an hour watching birds and somehow make it fascinating. Oh, she's got the strangest hobbies, like writing down interesting clouds, and every time she shares them, the whole world feels a little less ordinary. One Sunday morning, I found her sitting by the window. She was drawing maps of imaginary islands, not for a project, not for a reason, just because she wondered what existed beyond the horizon. That's when I realized her hobbies weren't strange at all. They were curious. of shadows on a cafe wall. The way sunlight moves across the room. Most people miss these details. She collects them like souvenirs from being alive. The city rushes, the clocks keep ticking, the traffic keeps moving, but she pauses. And somehow she teaches me to pause too. She's got the strangest hobbies, and that's why I can't stop smiling. She reminds me the world is bigger than deadlines and schedules and plans. She's got the strangest hobbies. Everyone reveals another universe where wonder still exists. A universe where curiosity survives. A universe where ordinary moments become unforgettable. She's got the strangest hobbies. Maybe that's why I love her, because every day beside her feels like discovering something new. Tonight, she's sitting on the balcony, listening to a radio station broadcasting from another country, writing down words she doesn't understand, looking up at the stars, smelling something invisible. And I realize the most beautiful thing about her isn't her hobbies. It's the way she sees the world. Ooh, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember the way the evening looked, golden sunlight fading from the sky. We were standing by the riverside, neither of us wanting to say goodbye. The world kept moving around us, cars passing, people walking by. But when you looked into my eyes, everything else disappeared for a little while. I didn't know then how much that moment would mean. I didn't know some memories never leave. 'Cause the day I held you close, time stopped turning for a while. The whole world faded into silence, and all I saw was your smile. The day I held you close, I felt my heart finally find its home. Even now, after all this time, I'm not afraid to say I've never really let that feeling go. I remember your hair in the evening wind, the way you laughed at something small, the way your hand fit perfectly in mine, like it had always belonged there. We talked about dreams in distant places, about the future we couldn't yet see. Back then, forever seemed so simple. Back then, forever felt easy. If I could relive one moment of my life, I'd go back there again every single time. 'Cause the day I held you close, the stars seemed brighter overhead. Every promise felt unbreakable. Every word But some memories don't grow older, they stay exactly where you left them. Sometimes I hear a familiar song, sometimes I pass a familiar street, and suddenly I'm right back there, holding you again. Maybe life doesn't always work out the way we planned. Maybe people change, maybe roads divide, but nobody can take away the nights we shared, the dreams we built, the way your heartbeat felt next to mine. And if I close my eyes, I can still see you standing in that fading light, smiling. 'Cause the day I held you close will always live inside my soul. No matter how far life takes me, that memory will never grow old. The day I held you close, I learned what love could really be. A moment so beautiful, it becomes eternity. The day I held you close, even now it carries me through. And every time I think about forever, I think of you. Yeah, the river keeps flowing, stars keep shining, the years keep passing by, but somewhere inside my heart it's still that evening, still that moment, still the day I held you close. Ooh, yeah. The rain began sometime after midnight, soft enough to sound like memory. I sat beside the window with a cup of coffee gone cold. The city outside was half asleep, street lights floated in puddles below. A train crossed the bridge beyond the river, and for a moment I thought of you. Funny how everything still leads back to you. The books remain on the shelf, the records remain in their sleeves. The moon still rises above the rooftops. Only you are missing, and that's the hardest part. The world still looks the same, the cafes, the stations, the summer rain, but every familiar place feels unfamiliar now. Because you're not there, because you're not here, because goodbye still echoes somehow. I found your photograph inside an old novel this afternoon. You were laughing at something I've long since forgotten. The ocean behind you was bright beneath the summer sun. Back then we believed the future would always include us. Back then we didn't know how quietly forever can disappear. Sometimes I think I hear your footsteps, sometimes I almost call your name. Then reality returns like winter arriving at the shore. say. If I could speak to you tonight, I wouldn't ask you to come back. I wouldn't ask for another chance. I'd only ask one thing. Do you ever think of me when it rains? Do certain songs still stop you? Do old photographs still surprise you? Or am I the only one living inside these ghosts? The coffee is cold now, the rain is slowing, the city glows beneath the darkness. Somewhere a train whistle fades, and so do we. And that's the hardest part, loving someone after they're gone. Not gone from the world, only gone from your world. And that's the hardest part, learning to carry what remains, the memories, the lessons, the love, without carrying the pain. Because even broken hearts eventually learn new songs. Even winter rivers eventually find the sea. And even after losing you, some part of me still believes in love. The rain finally stops, the moon appears between the clouds. The city grows quiet, I close the photograph, finish the last sip of coffee, and sit beside the window a little longer. Listening to the night, listening to the space where your voice used to be. Listening to the sound of your goodbye. Ooh, yeah. I walk past the place we used to meet, the little cafe on the river street. The tables are the same, the lights still glow, but something's gone that I used to know. I still remember your laughter there, the way the sunlight touched your hair. Back then the future seemed so clear, now it's just echoes in my ears. I kept believing time would bring us back, but time kept moving on. We can't go back to us, to the way we used to be, to the dreams we shared beneath the stars when forever came so easily. We can't go back to us, no matter how hard I try. Some roads only lead forward, some loves only live in goodbye. Your photograph still hides inside a book. Every now and then I take a look. The smile remains exactly the same, but everything around it changed. The songs we love still play at night, they fill the room with borrowed light. For a moment I can almost believe you're still standing next to me. But memories are beautiful illusions, they're not a second chance. We can't go back to us, to those summer nights by the sea, to the promises we made so young, to years have carried us far away, through different cities and different days. Maybe you found somebody new, maybe they're holding the parts of you I used to know. The thought still hurts a little, but less than before. And if I saw you now, I wouldn't ask you to stay, I wouldn't ask to start again, because love isn't always holding on. Sometimes love is learning how to let go and still be grateful for what was. The moon still rises, the river still flows, the world keeps turning, and somehow so do we. We can't go back to us, but I wouldn't erase those days. You were a chapter of my life that shaped me in 1,000 ways. We can't go back to us, and maybe that's alright, because what we had was beautiful, even if it couldn't survive. Can't go back. We can't go back to us, to the people we were then, but I'll carry those memories with me until the very end. Yeah, the cafe closes, the last train leaves the station, the city settles into the night, and somewhere two people who once loved each other keep walking toward different horizons. Not enemies, not strangers, just two hearts who can never go back to who they were. The sun was still low above the rooftops, the neighborhood half asleep. I rolled the bucket out into the driveway like I was preparing for something important. Maybe I was. Water slid across the hood slowly, so bubbles drifted into the air. A radio played somewhere in the distance, an old love song that suddenly made sense. The car looked exactly the same, but I kept washing. Maybe I wasn't cleaning the car, maybe I was calming my heart. I'm washing my car before our first date, trying to make everything shine, the wheels, the windows, the dashboard, like somehow perfection might buy me time. I'm washing my car before our first date, watching the sunlight dance on the paint. The truth is, it's not the car I'm worried about, it's what I'll say. A vacuum place nobody would notice, under the seats, inside the cup holders, the corner near the passenger door, the place where you sit. I imagined you laughing at something, looking out the window, choosing a song. The future arrived in tiny pieces, a playlist, a conversation, a red traffic light, the way your hair might move in the wind. Oh, funny how anticipation works. It turns ordinary things into sacred objects. Washing my car before our first date, like a man polishing a lucky charm. Every drop of water reflects tomorrow, and every reflection carries not the butterflies. A neighbor walked by and waved. Big plans today, he asked. I smiled and shrugged, because saying first date out loud made it feel too real. The sky turned brighter, the driveway dried, the car began to sparkle, and somehow, ooh, my nerves did too. What if the conversation flows? What if it doesn't? What if we drive with the windows down and sing along to the radio? What if this becomes one of those stories people tell years later? The funny thing is, nobody knows. That's what makes it beautiful. The bucket is empty, the sponge rests in the grass, the water disappears into the pavement. Tomorrow moves a little closer. I'm washing my car before our first date, and suddenly the world feels new. The streets I drive every day seem different because they'll include you. Ooh, I'm washing my car before our first date, and maybe that's what home looks like. Not grand gestures, not perfect plans, just a clean car and a hopeful heart. Ooh, I'm washing my car before our first date, with sunlight shining on the hood. And for the first time in a long while, tomorrow feels very good. The driveway is quiet now, the car reflects the evening sky. The playlist is ready, the tank is full, and somewhere in another part of the city, maybe you're wondering what to wear. Maybe you're nervous too. The thought makes me smile. I lock the car, look up at the sky, and wait for tomorrow. There's a photograph upon my bookshelf, taken on a windy afternoon by the sea. Your hair was dancing with the ocean breeze, and you were laughing back at me. The city outside keeps moving onward, cars and people passing by. But some days I feel suspended like a paper plane, lost between two skies. The distance isn't measured in miles, it's measured in moments I can't share with you. Across the distance, across the rivers and the rain, I hear a voice inside the silence, and suddenly you're here again. Across the distance, beyond the mountains and the sea, the whole world stands between us, but somehow you still live inside me. I walked past our favorite cafe yesterday. The waitress asked where you'd been. I smiled and said you were far away, which sounded smaller than it felt. A jazz record played near the window, the same one we listened to that winter. Funny how songs stay exactly the same, while people I carry toward different horizons. Across the distance, across the passing years and towns, every sunset feels like a letter, floating slowly down. Across the Its whistle echoes through the darkness, then disappears. Stars arrive one by one, patient as always. The universe seems unconcerned with human geography. Perhaps that's wisdom. Across the distance, across the oceans of the night, I send my thoughts like little boats toward your distant light. Across the distance, no map can show me where you are, but every memory becomes a compass, and every dream becomes a star. Across the distance, the seasons change and years move on. Summer becomes autumn, autumn becomes dawn. Across the distance, the road between us feels so long, yet every heartbeat keeps repeating the same old song. Across the distance, across everything we cannot see, the world may keep us separated, but it cannot take what you mean to me. The last train fades into the darkness, the coffee cup sits empty, the moon hangs above the sleeping city, and somewhere far away, perhaps you're standing by a window too, looking toward the same sky, listening to the same wind, missing me the way I miss you.